Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Strength and Balance. My name is Hannah, and I am a senior fitness instructor with Stonebridge Community Services. And here we are this morning. On this Monday morning, we have a full body strength routine, and it's going to feature a couple of exercises that have the option to be performed on the floor. They are more core specific exercises. If you don't want to be on the ground, that's no worries. I'm going to show you a standing option for both of those. That's towards the end of the first half of the class. In the second half of the class, we'll be working on our balance, and we will need to have some kind of support furniture close by, something to hold on to, like a chair, table. I always have my hand just on the wall beside me, and that works for me. So you could do the same thing, or kitchen island, a sturdy chair, something like that works really well. Let's make sure that we have some weights too. That's what we're going to use for the first part of the class, the strength part. Dumbbells work the best. You can use evenly weighted objects from your home if that is more, if that's what you have access to. So soup cans or water bottles, something like that. Let's make sure we have some water handy too, so we can keep hydrated as we exercise this morning. So we are going to come up to feet and we'll warm up, and then we will get right to it. All right, let's march on the spot. Taking those feet up nice and high, and let those arms move forwards and backwards. Let's take a nice deep breath, a big inhale and exhale. Deep breath in and out. Reach those hands up. Slowly lower down. And again, deep breath in and out. Good. Let's pull those shoulders up towards our ears. Relax them down. Lift those shoulders and lower. Good. Pull the shoulders up and down. Let's lift and lower. Good. We're going to roll our shoulders. Nice big circles. And let's roll our shoulders forwards. Let's bring those arms out to the side, little circles here. And back in the other direction. Good, let's bend at the elbows. Let's bring those hands in and out. Hands in and out. Hands in and out. Hands in and out. Let's hold those hands like a goalpost. Hands and elbows in and out. Hands in and out. Hands in and out. Hands in and out. Let's reach those hands up and elbows down. Hands up and down. Hands up and down. Hands up and down. Good. I just have to let somebody into the room. There we go. Let's march again. And we'll tap our toes forwards. Let's tap those toes to the sides. Let's tap those heels forwards. Let's tap those heels to the sides. Let's take one foot now. Let's tap our toe and heel. Toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, and heel. And again, toe and heel. Let's switch to the other side. Tap your toe and your heel. Toe and heel. Toe and heel. toe, and heel, toe, and heel. Let's bring those feet together. Let's tap our toes, and we can wiggle our fingers. Let's tap our heels and tap those fingers to your thumb. Good, let's tap our toes, both feet at the same time, and let's circle our wrists. And let's tap those heels, circle those wrists the other way. Good, let's stand with our feet hip width apart, and let's circle our hips, nice and slowly. And back in the other direction. Good, let's take a nice deep breath, a big inhale, and exhale, lower down. Excellent. We are going to start with 3 lower body exercises. We'll do all of them, and then we'll do all of them again. So we'll do each one twice. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We are going to use one weight for all of these. So let's grab that weight right now. Going to hold this weight kind of horizontally. So it's I'm holding it at the ends, and I'm going to hold it up high. So it's about chest height here. I'm going to walk my feet out wide, and I'm going to do a wide squat. You can see my toes are turned out a little bit. My chest is nice and tall. I'm going to inhale, sink down, exhale to stand. Nice deep breath in and out. Inhale to lower down. Exhale as we stand up. 2 more. And again. Good. I started off a little bit quickly there, so sorry about that. We'll slow down for the next round. Next one, we're going to keep holding that weight at the ends, so holding horizontally and nice and high. And we're going to do that again. Hold that weight there up at your chest, and we're going to step forward into a forward lunge. So I'm stepping forward with doesn't matter which foot, it's my right, but we'll alternate. We're going to bend that front knee. I'm lowering my back knee towards the floor as far as that feels comfortable. I'm going to push myself back to 2 feet, and then we're going to alternate to the other side. Nice and slowly down, and we're bending our knees just as much as that feels comfortable. Let's inhale, sink down, exhale to stand. Chest tall. Inhale down, exhale to stand. Couple more. Good, let's pop the weight down. Just need to grab a drink. We'll pick up that weight again. And again, hold high at your chest. I'm going to push myself up onto tiptoes. Slowly lower those heels to the floor. Breathe out, push up. Breathe in, lower down. Good. Couple more. Excellent. Let's relax that weight. So even though this is a weight that I've been using to teach this class for a couple of months, quite a few months, this size dumbbell, and generally when I'm using it for lower body exercises, I don't feel fatigue in my upper body, but holding that weight high like this, I feel it all in my shoulders. So this is a fun way to kind of get the most out of your weight, holding it in the same side, holding it in the same way all the time can become like easy. Your body gets used to it, but holding it in a slightly more challenging way means that we can continue to challenge ourselves with that same size weight. So this is really fun, I think. So it proves that you don't always need a bigger weight because that's not always accessible, but holding it in a more challenging way, yeah, you can really get the most of the equipment that you have. Let's try all of those lower body exercises again. Walking those feet out wide. I'm going to turn my toes out a little bit, holding that weight high here. I'm going to inhale, slowly sink down. Exhale, push yourself up to stand. Nice and slowly lower. Deep breath in. Breathe out as you stand. Good, nice and slowly. Couple more here. One more. Good. Just gonna pop that down. And let's think about that lunge. Again, holding the weight at your chest, nice and high. Standing with his feet hip width. We're going to step forward, bend that front knee. Keep that upper body nice and tall. Remember, we're bending our knees just as much as that feels comfortable. And that might be a lot, or it might be just a little bit, and that's okay too. One more each side. Good. You can pop the weight down. Excellent. We'll do these heel raises again next. So holding that weight in both hands, high at your chest, feet hip width. Let's push up to tiptoe, slowly lower down. Good. I'm breathing out as I come up onto my tiptoes. I'm breathing in as I slowly lower my heels. Good. Two more. Excellent. Pop that weight down. Have a quick break. You can grab a drink. It's actually very warm here today, so I'm just going to open my window. It's getting warm in the kitchen here. I'm going to switch it up to upper body. We're going to start with we're going to start with one weight. One weight. We're going to do that same thing, one weight. I'm going to hold it here at my chest, nice and high. Feet hip width, knees soft. We're going to push that weight up to the ceiling. Slowly lower down. Push up and lower. We're breathing out. as we push up and breathing in as we lower down. Good. Nice and slow as you come down. Once more. Excellent. Can pop the weight down for a moment. And then we will switch up. I'm going to demonstrate this next one with no weights, but you can imagine I've got a weight in each hand. I'm going to lift both hands out to the sides, and then one hand forwards and the other hand forwards. So both hands out to the sides, one hand forwards, the other hand forwards. So that movement is coming just from your shoulder here. I'm not lifting my shoulders, I'm keeping them relaxed, but the movement is just here. There is very little other upper body movement happening, and my arms are staying fairly straight. So let's grab our weights. Much more difficult to do it with the weights. That's okay. Feet hip width, knees soft. Lift those arms out to the sides, and then one forwards and the other forwards. Good. To the sides. Forwards and the other. Good. Out to the sides. One, two. Excellent. To the sides. Excellent. Breathing out as you lift up. It's really a challenging one on the shoulders. The last one here. Good. And let's relax those weights. Going to pick up our weights again. This time we'll do a little bicep curl. Feet hip width, knees soft. I'm going to curl one hand and the other. Breathing out as I lift up. Breathing in as you slowly lower down. Good. Good. A couple more each side. And once more each side. Good. Excellent. Pop the weights down. We're going to repeat this here. We've got that overhead press, those side and forward raises, and the bicep curls. Grab a drink if you need to, and then we will keep going. So we want just one weight for that overhead press, that shoulder press. I'm going to hold the weight here at my chest, feet hip width. Let's push that hand up. Slowly lower down, breathe out. And slowly breathe in and lower. Good. Excellent. Breathe out, push up. Breathe in, lower down. Two more. Last one. Good. Excellent. Let's pick up that second weight now. We're going to lift those hands to the side, one at the same time, and then one at a time we'll lift those hands forwards. All right, ready. So weights to the side. One weight forward and the other. Good. To the sides, forwards, forwards. To the sides, forwards. Keep those shoulders nice and relaxed. To the sides, forwards, forwards. The last one here. To the sides, forwards, forwards. Good. Now put those weights down. Excellent. Grab those weights again. Last one. Feet hip width. And we'll bicep curl. Hand up to your shoulder. Slowly lower down. Good. Exhale as you lift. Inhale as you lower down. Couple more each side. Last one. Super. Pop the weights down. We're all done with the weight part of this class. We're going to move on to a couple of core specific exercises, and I will demonstrate those. I should have mentioned at the beginning, so I will be doing them on the floor. Be on the floor if you can. We will be on our hands and knees, and there will be knee contact with the floor, which is not great for everybody. You can, I use a yoga mat to help cushion my knees. You can also place a pillow underneath your knees if you are fairly comfortable, but you don't like a lot of prolonged contact with your knees on the floor. Some people don't want to have the knees on the floor at all, and that's fine. You are going to do the standing option. But another good option is to put a pillow underneath your knees, and that's going to give you a little extra cushion there. If you're going to be standing, you're going to be against a wall. Arms out in front. I'm going to step my feet away so that my feet are further away than my head. My hands are at shoulder height. I'm looking at a spot in between my hands. I am going to lift one leg and then the opposite leg. One hand and the opposite leg, and slowly back to center. If we're on the floor, we'll do a hands and knees version of this. I will demonstrate the floor exercises for those of you on the floor. So if you're standing, this is your bird dog, and you're standing to do that. Second exercise, you're going to be, again, in this incline position against the wall, hands at shoulder height, and you're going to hold here. It'll be about 30 seconds, and that is a standing plank. You can walk your feet further away to be at more of an incline. Adjust your feet as you need to. If you're on the floor, you're going to come down with me now, and we will be doing a floor option. Just trying to move my camera a bit so you can see me on the ground. So let's come down to the ground. I'm going to step 1 foot forward, bend that front knee, back heel towards the floor. Let's hinge, bring that back knee down, and we're onto all fours. And we're going to be here on our hands and knees, on all fours. If you're standing, you're going to do that bird dog at the wall. So you're at an incline with the wall, you're lifting leg and opposite arm. On the floor here, it's the same idea. Opposite arm and leg, and then back to center. We're taking nice deep breaths as we do this. Let's go together now. Breathing in as you reach out. Breathing out as that arm and leg come back together. think about looking at that spot in between your hands. That's true if you're standing or if you're on the floor. That's going to help keep that spine in a nice straight line. Couple more here. Once more each side. Good, excellent. I want you, if you're at the wall, to be in that incline position against the wall. If you're on the floor, so we're on hands and knees. I'm going to walk my hands forwards a little bit and then move my weight forwards. So most of my weight is in my hands. My knees are on the floor. Again, think about that pillow if you need it. You can keep your feet on the floor for support too, or you can lift your feet up. I'm going to lift my feet and I'm going to hold this for 30 seconds. Think about taking nice deep breaths. Looking at that spot in between your hands. Pulling that belly button in towards your spine. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. And you can relax here. And we'll repeat these. So onto my hands and knees. If you're at the wall, you are standing in that incline position. We're going to do that bird dog exercise first. So you're lifting hand and opposite foot. Inhale and exhale. Good, nice deep breaths. Couple more. The last 2. Good. Let's be in that hands and knees position or that incline at the wall position again. I'm just going to shift my weight forwards onto my hands. My knees are supporting me and I'm going to take my feet off the floor. You can have your toes touching the floor if you need a little extra support here. And let's hold this for 30 seconds. Take nice deep breaths. Looking at that spot in between your hands. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. And relax. Excellent. You can bring one foot up. Push yourself up to stand. Very good. Grab a drink here if you want to. We're going to move on to work on our balance. Let's remember that we need to have some kind of furniture close by that we can use to hold on to. It's going to support us here. I'm going to stand close to the wall. I'm going to stand with my feet really close to each other, feet nice and relaxed. And I'm going to roll my feet. So lifting up heels and lifting up toes. Good, nice soft knees. Good, let's roll those feet from side to side. So you're lifting up through the edges of your feet. Good, excellent. Let's relax. I'm going to take one foot. I'm just going to adjust so you can see me better. I'm going to take one foot, step it forwards and back to that narrow foot position. Forwards and back. Forwards and back. Forwards and back. Let's switch to the other side. Step forwards and back. Forwards and back. Forwards and back. And again. Step forwards and backwards. We're going to tightrope our feet. So we're taking a few steps forwards and a few steps backwards. I can only take about 3 to stay within the parameters of the camera, but you can take a few more. And I want you to think about pausing. So as you step and lift, let's pause. And then keep stepping. And on the way back, pause. I paused with the same foot off the floor then, which wasn't intentional, but let's try this time to lift the other foot. And forwards, and then back, pause. Good, and you can work at your own speed a little bit, so take a couple steps, pause, pause, lifting those feet off the floor and stopping, continuing to move forwards, whoop, and backwards. It's tricky. Good. And make your way back to center. Good. We're going to stand on one foot a little bit, so let's make sure we are close to our support furniture to begin with. I'm going to stand on my left foot, and I'm going to raise my right. Hold that right foot where it feels comfortable. If you want to, you can place that foot down on the floor a little bit. And let's lift, let's stand up nice and tall. And relax your shoulders, looking up and ahead. I'm going to take one hand and I'm going to wave this hand up above your head if you can. If this is too much, you can bring that hand down so it's closer to your body. You can choose. See if you can add the other hand, and this again might be easier to do if you keep those hands low. Bring those hands up high if you can. Good, and let's relax those arms. Excellent. Switch to the other side. So I'm standing on the right foot. Raise the left foot nice and relaxed, knees soft. Let's look forwards. We'll take one hand and we'll wave. And if you can, let's add the other hand. Again, bring those hands down low if that's a little easier to hold balance. Hands up high if you want to. Good, relax those arms here. Great. We're going to stand with those feet a little wider than hip width. And let's shift our weight from one foot to the other, lifting up through your heels. Standing up nice and tall. As I move to the right, I'm going to reach my right arm. Same thing to the left. I'm shifting from one foot to the other and reaching that arm in the same direction. Excellent. Let's take one hand and I'm going to shift or reach across my body. I'm still shifting that weight from one foot to the other. Good. Let's relax those arms now and we're going to lift our feet. So we're stepping from one foot to the other, lifting those feet up. Good. Standing on the right foot now. Let's raise the left. Let's hold for 3, 2, and 1. Onto the left foot, raise the right. 3, 2, and 1. Let's go back to the right foot, raise the left. Bring those arms up in a Y shape. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And the other way. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And feet relax. Good. We'll do a little bit more on one foot. I'm going to start on my right foot here, and I'm going to raise my left hand and my left knee, and then slowly bring that foot down and lower that hand. I'm lifting just as high as I comfortably can. We want the foot on the floor to be really relaxed and that knee to be soft. And let's also concentrate on placing that foot really slowly back down to the floor. I'm going to switch to the other side, standing on the left, raise the right foot and the right hand. Good, once more here. And relax. Great, everybody. It's time to stretch. Let's stretch an arm across your body. Hold here and feel that nice stretch through your shoulder and your upper arm. Switch to the other side, reach forward, reach across your body. Good, relax that arm. I'm going to take one hand up to the ceiling, bend at the elbow, hand behind your back, and let's hold this elbow here. Let's switch to the other side, reach that hand to the ceiling, bend at the elbow, hand behind your back, and hold your elbow. Good, let's relax this arm. We're going to have a seat. Let's sit forward in our chair, stretch one leg out, heel on the floor, toe to the ceiling, and hinge forward at the hip. Feel that nice stretch in the back of your leg. And let's switch to the other side, heel to the floor, toe to the ceiling. Let's hinge forwards. Good. Let's sit up. We're going to pull one knee in towards your chest and let's circle this ankle. Back in the other direction. Good. We're going to point that toe and then lift, point, and lift. Goes to the left and the right, left and right. Good. Let's switch to the other side. Pull that knee in, circle your ankle here. Back in the other direction. Good. Let's point to the floor and the ceiling. Point those toes to the floor and the ceiling. Toes to the left and the right. Left, then right. Let's place that foot on the floor. You're going to stand up, reach those arms behind you, reach for the back of the room. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, wrap those arms around you. Give yourself a nice tight squeeze, a pat on the back. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I hope to see you next time.
Thanks, Hannah.
You're so welcome. Bye for now.